I have to say I was really looking forward to speaking with you because you were the leading negotiator last year, helping to bring 40+% Cambodian tariffs hit from the US down to roughly 19%. Today we are hearing 10% based on the forced labor 301 component, but the access capacity part, that one is still a question mark. What's the state of play?
Well, we very pleased with the rate that we received today regarding Section 301 on forced labor. So the rate ranged between 10% to 12.5%, but Cambodia received the 10%. We are waiting for the second component, the access capacity. So we hope and we expect that rate will be not higher than 9%. So the two components, the forced labor and excess capacity, add up to around 90% or less than 90%, as what we agree on the agreement on reciprocal trade with the United States, which Cambodia was the first country in the world to sign the ART with the U.S. on the 26th October of last year, when President Trump witnessed the signing of peace accord between Cambodia and Thailand in Kuala Lumpur. Right after that, he signed the ART with our Prime Minister.
So you hope, but how confident are you that the access capacity component will eventually be less than 9%, and how much less do you think?
I expect that we will not be more than 9% because U.S. will honor.
But is it 2%, 3%, or something like 8%?
I would probably range, close to the 9%.
Okay.
Because we want USTR want us to have the rate in the same landing zone within our competitor in ASEAN, and that is a commitment. USTR committed to honor what they signed with us, and we are committed to honor what we signed with the United States.
Okay.
Right.
What about what the U.S. has been asking for in return? I mean, I spoke to the Commerce Minister earlier. There are some, things that the U.S. is asking for in return for these exemptions. What more can you share with us on this?
Well, first, we zero out all the tariff for the imports from the U.S. to Cambodia. To the certain commitment, country-specific commitment that we agree with the United States. For example, on environment. So we have to enforce our law on the environment to ensure that there's not illegal logging and so on and so forth. We committed to reduce or to eliminate the non-tariff barrier. For example, SPS, sanitary, phytosanitary, if the products are approved by U.S. agency, U.S. SDA, or FDA, we don't have to redo the testing. If the drug has been approved by FDA, we do not have to redo testing in Cambodia.
What about what it is asking Cambodia to do in terms of imports of raw materials? Is that something that is on the cards as well?
Well, if Cambodia can import cotton from the U.S., for example, to make it to fabric, we likely to benefit from what we call TRQ for 3 years, meaning the lower tariff or zero tariff on that for 3 years. So we will look into that to import the cotton from the United States to make it fabric. So we will go upstream. So we will benefit from that. In addition to that, by having signed the ART with the United States, there's certain products in the list that U.S. provide to us that qualify for zero tariff. So we'll be pay only MFN plus zero, if you will. But outside of that, we pay MFN plus a 10% as of today, until the excess capacity will come to play in a few months' time.
What about SEZs and how, there's talk that there's one for U.S. cotton. Is that something that Cambodia is considering at all?
We have not heavily designated SEZ
Okay.
to import the cotton and to produce to fabric. special economic zone in Cambodia is for every manufacturing activity. We have 39 SEZ in the country. We approved 63, but 39 are in operation and produce various goods.
So not considering one for U.S. cotton?
We have not designated a special economic zone for U.S. cotton import. Right.
Okay. And not considering in the pipeline, that's not something that is being looked at?
That is depend on the private sector. We will allow in the private sector, if your company or any company or investor want to invest in a special economic zone dedicated to producing fabric, we'd be more than happy to look into that.
Okay. What is the longer term vision for Cambodia's special economic zones? Because you have dozens of them. I think 39 in operation. And then 60 in total.
63 has been approved, but 39 in operation. And so we expect that they will continue, the remaining will build the special economic zone so we can attract more the FDI into the country. But the FDI into the country does not necessarily have to go to the special economic zone. They receive the same benefit. Our investment law is the most liberal investment law in ASEAN. We provide up to 9 years tax holiday. We allow 100% ownership of a foreign investor in Cambodia. Every economic sector in Cambodia is open to a foreign investor. There's no exchange control in Cambodia.
That is very attractive, I have to say. But what about the governance issues within the country and how maybe this scam crackdown, is that also affecting investments into Cambodia?
Our Prime Minister called the scam center a black economy.
Right.
Black economy does not produce any good benefit to our economy. On the contrary, it affects our ability to attract a good investor. It affects our ability to attract tourists to visit our country. But our Prime Minister is so committed, our government committed and determined to eradicate the online scam.
So given how there seems to be headway in cracking down on scam compounds or criminal networks, do you see that already in the numbers in terms of maybe more encouraging signs from foreign direct investment into Cambodia?
Well, I just came back from the investment roadshow in Japan, in Korea, in China recently. And when I informed them that we have a total commitment to eradicate the online scam, and they also read the newspaper, they feel more confident.
And they're committing money?
Right. Okay. They feel confident to consider to invest in Cambodia. Now, if we look at the numbers, in 2024, we approved 414 projects worth $6.9 billion. 2025, we approved 630 projects worth $10 billion. So that 50% increase in terms of number of projects that we approve, 45% increase in the total commitment. For the first 6 months of this year, we already approved 276 projects with $4.7 billion. So we roughly 50% what we approved in 2025. So I hope to be able to attract more investment from now until the end of the year. But having said that, the war in the Middle East also has some impact on our investment, not only Cambodia, but in the whole world, as you know, it's the whole region, the whole world that we are affected by the impact on the war.
How much are those investments coming from China? Can you give a breakdown of the proportion, and also how actively you are courting other investors beyond China? In
2024, 49%.
That's a lot.
Right?
That's half.
And then go to 54% in 2025. But the first 6 months of this year, it dropped to 35%.
Why?
But we have all the investors that invest in Cambodia.
Okay.
But having said that, our investment law does not discriminate against any investor. We encourage every investor to consider investing in Cambodia because of our pro-business government, our young, dynamic workforce, our infrastructure. We want Cambodia to be a center for manufacturing and for logistics for ASEAN.
On infrastructure, the $1.7 billion Funan Techo Canal, that's your pet project. We've recently gotten confirmation, you confirmed to Bloomberg on a loan agreement with China. How much is that loan? What are the conditions involved? What will that loan be used for?
We get approval from China for $200 million loan to build the ship lock and irrigation in the canal itself, around $200 million. The term is very good, 1.25% interest rate, 20 years loan period. That for that ship lock. In addition to that, China will grant $200 million to build 6 or 7 bridges crossing the canal. In addition to that, the syndicate loan in China will provide up close to $1 billion to the concessionaire to build the canal. And this canal is a game changer for the inland waterway transport in Cambodia. We'd like to shift from a land transport to the inland waterway transport in order to reduce road damage, road accident, also reduce the shipping cost, the time, and reduce CO2 into the environment because of the canal.
Is it going to be a game changer for Vietnam, though? Because there are concerns that with this canal, it could bypass Vietnam's ports and waterways. Is that something that you've had discussions with Vietnam about?
It's not necessarily correct because the some shipments still go to Vietnam. Some go through our Siem port. So what we do is to make the environment where Cambodia can grow, make the pie bigger. So everybody can benefit from that pie.
So to the extent that you're not worried with the building of this canal, that it could in some way undercut the economic or even the security relationship that you have with
Not
the
at
neighbor?
all. On the contrary, is to expand the cooperation between our neighboring country.
Okay. Talk to us as well about the longer term vision when it comes to attracting investments. I mean, you talk about these near-term challenges.
Okay. We had the vision of becoming the high-income country by 2050. So with that, we need to diversify our economy to electronic, to automotive industry, food processing industry, to shift away from labor-intensive industry. That what is our vision.